All right, if you haven't seen the advertising, I don't know what to tell you, but what these are is these AR-15 type folding stock hinges. They're being sold, lots of advertising on Facebook and different internet sources. But so I fell for it, and I ordered a couple of them just to see what they're like. Let's take a look at it and see what. They just arrived today. Today is the 26th of December, day after Christmas, and they are out in the in the box this morning. The by Americans for Americans. We'll see here. Let's see here. Thank you for your order. Let's take a look at it. Boom. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. By the way, these are about half or less than half the price of the other ones that are out there that have been out there for a while. People are saying these are knockoffs of them. I do have access to an original one. I don't have one myself, but someone who works for me does. They said in their advertising these were made out of 4140 steel. It don't feel like 4140 right in my hand here now. So I find kind of interesting. So we got the actual hinge, and then there's a bag in here with some of the other parts you need to go in the back of the barrel extension or the carrier, excuse me, and some hardware and Allen wrench and stuff like that. So I got a feeling these have a serious feeling like they're made out of aluminum. Not being super familiar with these, I'm not too sure how it all operates yet. I'm going to have to figure it out. But right at the moment here, it does feel like aluminum. So we'll investigate further on that in a minute here. All right, I went and got a magnet. I'm back. There are some steel parts in it, but the main body of the thing is definitely not 4140 because that would be magnetic. That part right there is the pin in the middle is, but these parts aren't. So I don't know if that's the case on the original ones, whether they're all made out of steel or they're partial aluminum. It kind of makes sense to make it out of aluminum, but you know, what do I know? But so yeah, now we'll mount this on something and see how it all goes together. So. All right, let's try to assemble this thing. Here's the parts that are in the plastic bag right there. These right here. The first get ready for the setup process is going to take this wrench and remove that screw from right here. Sorry about the air compressor. From right there, which I've done already. That goes in there, was in there like that, and now it's out. Okay, so I did the first step in their assembly. All right, so let me read a little bit more and I'll get back to you here in the next step. Step 2 is detached stock assembly. I've already done that. Not to bore you with that. This is a Let's Go 15 blower from, look at that. That must be about our beloved president. Anyways, detach the stock already so you don't have to be bored with that. And let's see, let's find number 3 on the list here. Number 3, installation of folding stock adapter. So the reason for taking this piece out, because that piece was blocking me from putting this piece in, which is going to hold their adapter, and it's going to screw into the back of this receiver right there. So let's get that put in, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so what we're doing next is we're going to install this piece into here that attaches it all to the back of the receiver, like that. So taking this out allows me to push this piece all the way clear, and allows me to take this piece and drop it in, which is going to allow me to screw that to that. So let me do that here and I'll show you the result. All right, well, they give you this tool here to use to engage the notches in the back of here and turn it, but this thing seems a little wide and it's dragging inside of their stock piece. So I'm going to shorten this for a second here on the sander, and then we'll get back and screw that notched out assembly into the back of the receiver. Okay, after I sanded down the sides of that tool they provided, I was able to screw that screw assembly into the back of the receiver. When you do that, don't forget to put your the spring in for your the rear upper catch bolt pin. I had to take it back apart and put that in because I forgot it, so don't forget that. So now what we're going to do is, it says to take this out, and there's a set screw in here which I guess goes against the big screw that attached to the back of the receiver, and to keep that in place. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I think it's it is that one, I think. Here we go. There's the Allen head screw. So we're going to go ahead and put that right in there and snug that up, and then we'll go to the next step. The thing I remind you about is putting the spring and that catch and set screw back in place. Instructions are kind of all right. I think they're lacking something. I don't know. Let's wiggle this around a little bit, see if I can put this in here. Doing this, holding the, there we go. Put that in there. And then we're going to put this back here. And then we're going to put that set screw right in that hole right there. Just give me just a second. Okay, here we go. Got that set screw started, going back in. That is keeps that little part that sticks out there. That's what keeps your carrier and those parts inside the upper when the hinge is open. So let's screw this in all the way. All right, that's good enough for now. So yeah, there you go. So when you push the old button right there, that would let your it does two things. It locks the hinge, and then if you need to get those parts out the back, your carrier and bolt, it lets you do that. So, close that up. So now we've got to put the buffer tube into there. So let me pull that out and start screwing that in, and I'll show you that. All right, one thing they briefly mentioned in the instructions over there is the installation of the retainer for the buffer, for the buffer and spring. They give you these shortened ones in here, so I'm going to go on the assumption that's what we're supposed to use, not the original ones over there. So let me get those in, and I'll show you what that looks like in the end. So we're talking about putting those pieces right in that hole in there. All right, guys, so I got that installed. When I went to use the spring that was provided, I made a mistake and it fell on the floor. And the floor here is dark, and it got lost. So I used the one that came with it. I used actually the buffer retainer that came with it also. It moves. It works. It works like it should, like it would in your normal rifle. Like I say, we're talking about using these little guys. I didn't. So we're just gonna use the old one and let it be. One thing I noticed is the set screw that goes in the bottom is basically held in with the spring tension. So probably a drop of blue Loctite just to retain it properly might be a good idea. But here it is together. Seems relatively snug. I haven't seen anything to suggest otherwise. And the button is right here. You push that button, it unlocks, and it swings around. So let me put the buffer in and put the buffer extension or the bolt carrier extension in, and we'll see how it all works together. All right, now's the time to put this extension into the back of the bolt carrier. Let's see how this goes. Probably gonna have to use both hands for that, so give me just a second. All right, got it in with using both hands there. So anyways, what that does, that bridges the gap that the hinge creates between the existing buffer and the carrier. So let's stick that back in the upper, and we'll assemble the whole thing and see how it works. All right, well, it's back together. When you put the upper on the lower now, with that extension, you have to kind of insert the rear of it first, and then lower down on the front and put the pins through. No more of the popping the pins in the back and pivoting it open. So there's the extension. There's the Palmetto State buffer in the back. Boom. There it is together. And here it is working back and forth. So seems like it's gonna be all right. Let's fold it for you here. All right, there it is folded over. I mean, obviously this is not, it's not very secure once it's folded, but the whole idea of the folding is just for, I would imagine, for transport. What's going on here now? I picked up some looseness somewhere. Didn't seem like it was that loose before. So there is a little bit of wiggle front to back here. Not sure what's going on. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But yep, it's together. So yeah, there's a little bit of that right there. We'll have to mess with things a little bit more and see if, oh, I'm seeing some. Yeah, there is some wiggle in there. Have to see if there's something that can be tightened up. But anyways, it's on. The test will, yeah, see how it's got that wiggle right there? Not a big fan of that. Take a look at things here. All right, guys. After looking at this closer, there's a lot of play in this hinge joint here. Right in here, there's a lot of extra movement. I don't know what the deal with that is. I'll have to look back through their advertising. They said something about it being made out of 4140 steel, and it's all aluminum. So, and we'll have to compare it to the actual American-made ones. I know are American-made. I couldn't find any place on this thing that said made in China, but survey says it probably is. So yeah, I mean, I would probably, if I was you, stay away from it, unless, you know, you want something you like the looks of it. Yes, will it work? Yeah, I'm sure it's going to work. Is it a tight fit? Not like that. It's not. I have a feeling that this has to be reworked in here to get a tighter fit, because there is a lot of wiggle in the hinge. So, my honest to God opinion, it's kind of weak, but we'll shoot it. We'll see how it does when it shoot it, and then I'll probably dissect this and see if I could tighten it up. I have a feeling it's got some really loose fitting parts in there that need to be of a tighter tolerance. We'll see what happens. Well, there you go. Immaculate conception, inception, deception. I'll let you be the one to decide that, but that's just my take on things here. December 26th, 2023. Talk to you guys later. See ya.